Welcome to Seriously Speaking. On the show today, I have with me, very quickly, that's what I'm going to do, introduce Jimmie. Nice to have you on Seriously Speaking.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll also introduce a director with us here, Bori.
It's good to be here.
And then the last person is Tabia. Come in here again, because I said, this is home for Tabia.
Yes, yes indeed. Welcome to the show. So today we'll be talking about the social pressures that influence Nigerian youth, that encourage people to pursue materialism and basically take shortcuts, and the easy way out towards, making it big. That's the topic for today.
Well, so I let you do that, but I'll take a break. You can see that they are all young. They're in the generation that understands these things, but we are in the generation that worry about these things. So we'll be right back on Seriously Speaking on this panel, if you don't go away. So welcome back. I promised the last time Tabia was here that I would ensure that if I have a conversation that I thought she should manage, she would present this show. Tabia is like my daughter, more or less, those of us in the industry. Yeah, I'm very proud of her, and Tabia is very outspoken. The thing is, okay, guys, the thing is, it was an article that Tabia actually wrote in the Vanguard. She writes for Vanguard, amongst other things, of course, that kicked off the idea in my head about what's happening with all these Yahooism. We've heard Yahoo in the past. And about the time I wanted to do this was also when a particular club was raided in Lagos, and they picked up some young men. And I thought, you know what? We should talk about this thing seriously. And I would like to start with Tabia. When you sat down to pen that conversation, what was driving you in that piece?
Well, it was basically around the time, so two things happened simultaneously, which was very interesting. There was the lazy Nigerian youth controversy.
That's right.
And then, barely maybe a week or so later, that club was raided. And, it just struck me how, first of all, on one hand, we get so offended, Nigerian youth and general public, we get offended when we hear certain things about ourselves. We say, oh, why would someone say that about us? But then the reality of it is that although, yes, and then again, I don't think anyone believes that all Nigerian youth are lazy, all Nigerian youth are corrupt, no. But there is a significant part of the population that is very comfortable, and that's both young and old, actually. We are very comfortable in Nigeria with quick money, people who can flash that cash, people who can afford to make you travel to all kinds of, destinations or whatever, but then you don't know how these people make their money, or rather, more interestingly, that it is made through...
But you ignore it.
But you ignore it, exactly.
No, you see, one of the areas that's mostly vilified, if you'll agree, is the entertainment. Well, that's why Jimmie works. Jimmie manages a lot of artists. One of them is the Band, and, that's the area you work.
Yes.
I don't know if you're a lazy youth.
Well.
But this Yahoo thing, is it true that the entertainment industry is giving us examples that are really not very... I mean, if an entertainer one day wakes up and says, I'm giving my girlfriend or my mother or whatever a car that is worth millions of naira, you won't blame young people who want to be like that.
I mean, to be honest with you, the entertainment industry is as much an influence as...
Good or bad?
Good or
bad?
It's 50%, it's half and half, because it's worse now because of the access people have to the lifestyle of these artists. I mean, we've always had artists that lived larger than life. I would say Shina Peters at the time lived a larger than life, but people didn't really know how they couldn't get access to that. Now, in this current day and age, it's so easy to see a Davido buying a Porsche for his girlfriend. It's so easy to see Wizkid taking his kid to go shopping at Gucci.
So you're blaming social media in essence?
I'm saying it's the access to that information that drives you to want to do that. Now, if I give you an example, the youth of Nigeria, for me, are clearly in a society where we're more about the flashy life. We're more drawn towards the things that are flashy. If you have the ability to make an impact and be seen as someone that is doing well, they just want that. They crave that attention so that people can see them, I'm a star, I'm living the life. So they'll do whatever it takes to get that.
Now, you're a producer, and you produce content. What kind of content do you think people are dying for? And is it a function of what the people want or what they are being given?
So if you look at current trend now, reality shows are doing really well. And
especially the things like Big Brother.
exactly.
Where you want to see what's happening in the next person's life.
And then following a celebrity's life, seeing how they live and all that. Those are the things that really trend right now.
Is that good or bad? I must ask that again.
Well, again,
People know that it's not real. That's another thing, that it's not real.
So I don't think for some of these celebrities it is real.
What do you mean it is real? They will pop.
Yeah, they do. They live,
They live like that?
Yes, they do. So, but the thing is, it's left to those who are, watching these things to understand that, okay, they've worked hard to get to this point where
Did they really?
Well, in some cases they did.
So you know how, I'm going to go a bit religious here and say, you know how the Bible says your talent will make you stand before kings? If I do something with my talent and I stand before a president or a wealthy man, and he gives me 10 million, I worked for it because my talent got me to this point where he gave me that money. As opposed to, I go to sit in a cyber cafe or I'm trying to dupe someone of their money. I did work for it. I put in the work in the studio.
And that's the benefit of it.
So those are the benefits of my hard work.
Can I just, come in and say something very quickly? What I find interesting is when you look at how entertainment industries function abroad and how they function here. Here, what you just described now, that sponsorship of a Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so who is rich or wealthy, giving a car or a sum of money. That doesn't happen abroad because the industry is structured in a way the artist makes money off of sales of their record, of their book, of their whatever. So that's a direct dash that we do here, that gift-giving culture. But wait, what I'm trying to say is no. It happens and it's a very what's it called, specific thing. It's an endorsement. It's a company, not an individual. So that removes the temptation of that you have that status-driven thing that we do in Nigeria.
It's what you're allowed to know because we're dealing with Nigerians here. So it's easy for us to relate with. I know that big man that gave this person this money. So
where did the big man get the money from?
That's the question you need to ask, not why is he giving the artist.
Who travel to the Middle East to perform at a child's birthday, and they get paid even more than they will if they were going
in Nigerian child?
No. Even Nigerian child.
But that's what I'm saying. But the point I'm trying to make is that artist, in there, let's say a Beyonce who goes to perform for Sheikh, whoever, in Saudi or wherever. When in America, the press writes about it, they have detailed questions that they are asking because they believe that in societies like ours, where we're not too sure of how a lot of people make their money, you can't be, when you are bringing cash back into a country, there are taxes, there are all sorts of things they want to make sure that that money is clean because they don't want their system tainted by certain things. We don't have that in Nigeria.
It's only Nigerians that
I'm not saying it's only Nigerians, but I'm saying
if Beyonce goes to perform for a sheikh,
there's scrutiny.
And she's been given her performance fee, if the sheikh decides to give her gifts worth more than you can imagine.
The press will talk about it, is what I'm saying.
And nobody would know because how...
Can I steer this conversation back to the key, which is, now, when we see these people having this kind, however they get their money, we cannot justify it. If we see people living that kind of life, why would you now seek to find a Yahoo way to go and get money to be like that?
Well, I think, again, it comes to the individual. What principle do you live by? What standard have you set for yourself?
So what principle do you think young people live by today? Young men? Or is it only women? Is it men and women?
Men and women. The women aid. There are women that aid in either receiving
You said get it by all means.
Get it by all means. That's the mentality. Get it by any means possible.
That's what a lot of young people live.
That's the way it is because you're made to believe that nobody's going to hand you anything.
But again, this point is so important because when we say, fair enough, this is not America, don't we want to have a structured, organized society where you don't need to do such things? There's an opportunity for you to make something of yourself without doing the cybercrime, whatever.
We must accept, first of all, that we are different in structure.
But that's my point. Are we going to stay like this
But is our
forever?
structure good?
That's what I'm saying. It's not good. So we need to understand. We need to understand the problem.
So we agree that it's not good. What were you going to say, Bori?
I wouldn't say we have a structure. I think for every individual, they just try it and it works.
Anyhow that works,
so then the next person tries to do it the same way that person did it and it doesn't work. So if you say there's a structure, then if I do it this way and it worked for me, then it should work for you. But it doesn't work like that.
Can I dare say that it's a function of the values that we actually have? Where, for example, what's driving individuals? Must you have money to be recognized? Why is this so strong amongst young men to want to be recognized and to be rich?
I'll take it to...
Let's start with... I would like two of you to respond before she...
Okay. I'll take it to politics, our politicians. We've lived in a country where we've seen politicians amass wealth, amass wealth, amass wealth. And there's no opportunity for, I don't justify, illegal means of getting money, but, a lot of the older generation tried to say our generation is bad, it's sport. But this country got to the state where it got to on that. Exactly. So we did not start these things. The news about politicians who had like shady businesses before they became politicians, but nobody talks about that. They just focus on what we're doing now. It's not right, but I don't like it when they pass the bulk of the blame to the youth.
I take a leaf from what he's saying. The fact is, the Nigerian youth, we've been oppressed.
You're not lazy, you're oppressed.
We've been oppressed by the wealth of these politicians, billionaires, private owners. They flaunt it in your face that this is what wealth looks like. And the Nigerian youth wants to be that. Okay, I didn't get the right grades in school, so I might not be able to be a chartered accountant or a lawyer that would be able to go the legit way. So as a result of that, okay, I'm at home doing nothing. My guy at this cyber cafe, maybe we go see. And one day you just go out of luck. That day, I am telling you, sheer luck. You get there and you do one thing that people have been doing for years. There are people doing this yahoo. It has never paid them. True. It has never paid.
Did you try it?
I worked at a cyber cafe.
So you saw these things happening.
I worked at a cyber cafe. Make of that what you want. But I worked at a cyber cafe. I know how it's done. Right? I've seen them. Even the attendants at the cyber cafe, they are now snitches on other yahoo guys. Like, okay, an illiterate Igbo guy. Excuse me for using an Igbo guy, but the experience I have was with an Igbo guy. Can't really speak, can't really write, but he has a template already. So he comes to the cyber cafe, says to me, yo, I beg, help me type this thing. And I'm sitting there, okay. Robert Mugabe has money he wants to send. The country won't let the money out, so I need you to send me this amount so I can settle somebody, and then they'll send you 200 and something billion naira. And this is, at that point in time, once that person bites, because you send to like maybe 2,000 different emails, once that person bites, it comes back. He now takes that, sends it to another person who now acts as a legal person, saying, yes, I'm a legal advisor to so.
But have you ever seen somebody who succeeded, though?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, that person, because I have access to that email account, I can sell that account to someone else. That is a bigger yahoo guy that is a big boy in the game.
Advanced course in there. Advanced course in
yahoo.
I would say yahoo boys have more structure than all of us in society. That's the truth, because they work with it.
Okay, so they become big men, right?
Yeah.
Then they become big men and then oppress the young boys that are trying to impress girls. Okay, yo, I'm an honest guy. I want to, just talk to you.
So
take you out for
Tabia has
drink.
a point on that.
So, you see, this thing of, it's for that people claim they're doing this for women. My immediate question is always, who are these women? Who are these women? Who are these women? But I understand everything that you said. In fact, I wanted us to just quickly touch on, that whole idea of Nigerian youth are oppressed, and that's the reason why they need to.
It's one of them.
True, or one of the reasons. Fair enough, yes. There's a lack of opportunity in our society. Our country is man, no man. If you don't know anybody, you're not going anywhere. Exactly. True. But at the same point, I also want us to try and be forward thinking, and it's something that I advocate to young people. We know this is the problem, but are we going to stay like this forever and ever and just accept it?
Clearly, until our leadership shows some level of example, we can't solve this problem.
Until our leadership actually creates equal opportunity for everybody.
Yes.
I'll give you an example, and this is just going back to law and order and punishment when you commit a crime. I was probably 1 or 2 when Bori was in power as a military dictator, and then I heard about war against indiscipline, where they made people line up. If you didn't line up, they flog you. Imagine me as a 1 or 2 year old child, seeing people line up from then up till I was like 10. It becomes a part of me. Yeah. I start to do it naturally. Or even if my father is stubborn and I see them beat him one day, I don't want them to beat me like that. So I start to, so that's why I'm saying that we need to start to punish people for offenses, and it goes all the way to the top, because we have people at the top who are always committing crimes.
So it's a long journey, because corruption is fighting back at the current government, I know.
Well, but the thing is that I really want to emphasize is people's personal choice, because we can't continue to blame. Yes, there's some bad eggs amongst us who also make it into government, but if each of us takes a conscious decision that in our own little sphere, we are going to behave a certain way, that is how you force the rest of society to behave differently, you know, because we don't exclude people who commit crimes, whether the ones we clap for, on the contrary. So until we start saying, I know you do wrong, I don't want to associate with you, you can't come to my club, you can't come to my party, I don't want to be involved with you, then
park in the right places like these clubs are here.
If you take your Toyota, my own Toyota Camry, if not that I'm known, they won't let me park close to the club.
Okay, so but I mean, the bottom line is, if you're good at what you do, ultimately you will get recognition. Whether you want to wait for it or you want to get it quickly is where the problem is. Even if we did do personalized, what I take from you, the herd mentality is still there. But we are all leaders in different spheres in our lives. So just take leadership and try to be examples. Are we agreed on that? Thank you very much. And I would hope, with people like you, there's hope for Nigeria.
Especially with people like you.
So thank you for watching Seriously Speaking. We'll see you again next week.